Drones are being shot down every day. Russia is burning. Explosion after explosion all across the Federation. Shaheds will no longer take off. Ukraine is knocking out Russia's defense industry. Minus an MLRS and a Buk M1 worth $10 million, Ukrainian defenders put on a fiery show at the front. Our tanks will reach?
Junk. Yes, not yet, Russian ladies.
I'll tell you all the details in a moment. Welcome to Ukraine Today. I am Victoria Panchenko and the latest events. At Moscow airport, Sheremetyevo doesn't have a day without a coffee shop. At night, good drones paid a visit to a number of Russian regions. The terrorists' Ministry of Defense claimed to have allegedly shot down 86 UAVs, in particular in the Moscow region, including Kursk, Bryansk, Belgorod, Smolensk, Ryazan, Tula, Voronezh, and Oriol regions. The second beautiful flying object is now gracefully approaching. There it is, truly beautiful to behold, a magnificent sight.
I filmed it.
Meanwhile, there was also a commotion in the Kursk region. On the Z channels, they were howling about a swarm of drones.
A huge one. We've got arena here. It looks like
it was hot in Rostov as well. The area of the fire increased to 15,000 square meters. The fire was extinguished by 2 emergency ministry helicopters. An unknown warehouse and an office building were burning. The cause of the fire is also unknown, but the footage is pleasing to the eye because everything Russian is evil. That's how it is. The baton of explosions was picked up in the Usinsk district of the Komi Republic. A hellish incident happened with a Lukoil fuel tank. The cause of the explosion is unknown. Lukoil and its Perm subsidiary have not commented on the incident in any way. By the way, with our strikes on the Russian Federation, we are gradually depleting the offensive potential of the Russian army. The enemy is increasingly feeling our impact on its defense industry facilities that are involved in the production of Shaheds. This is the opinion of Vladislav Seleznov, a military journalist. Seleznov suggests that systematic strikes on Russia's industry will prevent them from further scaling up drone production.
Do we have the resources to relentlessly attack their territory with our drones every day and every night? The European part, yes, we are ramping up our efforts, but here a very reasonable question arises. Should we launch drones to block air transportation, or should we instead direct these drones to attack Russian defense industry facilities? I think the first option has a right to exist, but the second one is more of a priority. After all, right now, Ukrainian defense forces, as part of a preventive strategy, are systematically destroying Russian defense industry enterprises. In particular, those involved in the production of kamikaze drones, such as the Shahed type. Of course, we are still far from fully implementing this case in terms of depriving the enemy of the illusion that they can, for example, produce Shaheds or similar drones at will, especially at a distance. But I hope that the current figure of 150 to 150 drones per day, which are being deployed at various enterprises in Russia, including Shaheds, decoy drones like Gerbera and Parodi will continue to grow. This will not happen because the enemy is feeling increasingly insecure. Our influence on their defense industry facilities that are involved in this sector, in any case, as well as on the territory of the Russian Federation, on military targets, military infrastructure, as well as the defense industrial complex. These are auxiliary for us, because in this way we are gradually eroding the offensive.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
Potential of the Russian army.
In turn, isolated strikes on Russian oil refineries do not have a lasting effect, but the real danger comes from the systematic nature of these attacks. Pavlo Lakichuk, head of security programs at the Center for Global Studies Strategy 21, stated this on the air of Kyiv 24.
It's very good that the strikes have resumed. The oilmen, as they say in Russian, in the slang, I remember that after the previous strikes, the effective ones, there was quite a long pause. It was indeed politically motivated. I recently spoke with one of the prominent Russian opposition experts in the oil industry, and he himself assessed the situation roughly like this. He says that each of your strikes doesn't have that kind of prolonged, powerful effect. It doesn't escalate into a significant strategic problem for Russia, but the systematic and persistent nature of these strikes, that's precisely what creates the inherent danger. The significant development was happening just before Ukraine officially agreed to a temporary yet crucial halt of strikes on the enemy's vital energy system, a decision made at Russia's explicit request. That is precisely how my reliable source meticulously explained the entire complex situation to me. He says that after each devastating strike, the entire facility completely shuts down for several crucial days to thoroughly deal with the immediate aftermath of the emergency situation. And then it subsequently takes several long months to fully restore its operational capabilities. During this period, it is knocked out of the overall fuel and lubricant supply system for the armed forces, for export, and so on. If the pattern continues, meaning strikes are repeated every 4 to 6 months, then this becomes a problem, because the plant was down for 4 months, started working again, and then it gets hit once more. And in fact, this drags on for a long time. Key plants of Russian enterprises, of the defense industrial complex, of the oil and energy sector. So in fact, this is the method that works. Therefore, if these are not isolated strikes, but a systematic effort, it's very good that we are now observing this. By the way, at the enterprises of the defense industrial complex, and even chemistry is not mentioned for nothing. And that strike, the one from the day before yesterday that you mentioned, and before that, the strike on Sergeyev Posad, the Institute of Applied Chemistry, such applied chemistry, God help us, this is indeed a serious production facility for the enemy.
Breaking news from Boli TU. In the Rostov People's Republic, Russians, overcoming the resistance of Russian swearing, have already started Ukrainian language courses thanks to good drones.
They shot down more drones. They're tearing things apart, guys. They're stealing. They dented the fence.
Now, they're actively jumping out of the structure, diligently putting in the new windows. Come on, I'll hold on.
Someday our tanks will get here.
Where is it?
Yeah, they haven't written Penny Rusky yet. Bahaha, Russians. Well, yeah.
As a result of the 0.4 -07 drone attack, 2 buildings of the Azov optical mechanical plant were hit. It is at this plant that high-precision optics are produced. Optomechanical assemblies used in missile guidance systems, stabilizers for armored vehicles, navigation and laser devices for aviation, UAVs, and electronic warfare. Hellish footage for your attention.
Don't you really want to go to your work today? War, you know. Oh, that's it. Ah, no. That's not all.
It's still pitching. Whoa! I guess I'll finally get some much-needed sleep now. Here's our lovely spacious yard. And here's our old familiar shed where we used to frequently stop and gather our thoughts. Here's the house. The one on that side over there.
The occupiers on the front line didn't have it easy near Kyiv. A Russian Federation MLRS was destroyed in an instant, and all the rockets detonated. For your attention, a fiery show from Ukrainian defenders. A Russian Buk M1 worth $10 million was also scrapped. That's all the news for now. More to come. Stay up to date with the main news and hit the like button below the video. Wishing you peaceful skies above.